Just Eat Weber Cup is less than 24 hours away, and with me to preview the annual transatlantic tenpin tussle, the two team captains from USA, Sean Rash, and from Team Europe, Barrett, who's making a record 10th appearance. Dom, you know everything about the Weber Cup, and in recent years Europe seems to have found a winning mentality. What's been the key to that?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much as Sean stood right here, but no, we've we're just very settled on this lane, and I think it really goes back to what I've said in almost every interview, is the fact that we already are a team before we even get here. You know, we travel together, we room together, we share cars together, we make sure everyone sort of turns up in America at the same time. So really coming to this event, we're already a team. My job as captain is pretty easy. I just have a few more interviews with you guys, and we just go out and make sure we enjoy ourselves.
Sean, different for you. It's your first Weber Cup, and there's two new faces on the team, but the likes of EJ and Marshall Kent, they played together, so do you feel you've got that team bond as well already?
Well, we definitely have a team bond, and the fact that these three guys that are on my team with me are all around 25 years old. I'm the old guy, the lone man, been around a lot longer than them, of course, but we travel, like Dom said, we all travel together around the world, throughout the United States, bowling PBA events, and it'll be interesting, to see where we gel, who needs the bowl first, who needs the bowl second, how we do the Baker matches and whatnot, but we're going to just ride some momentum too. We've all been bowling extremely well this summer in the States, and so is Dom, bowling the extra frame stuff, but the other three guys haven't bowled as much, so we're kind of hoping that they're a little rusty and whatnot. We know they're very comfortable in this atmosphere and whatnot, but the four of us have plenty of experience, and we'll see who comes out on top at the end.
As we said, it's your first Weber Cup, but you've waited a long time for this, haven't you?
Absolutely. Timmy Mack started this back in 1998, so long ago now, 18 years ago, or 2000, I guess, whenever it started. But I've always been kind of the guy on the outside looking in, and it's just an honor to finally be called, and I'm looking forward to meeting some of the fans and heckling them like they do to us and whatnot, but I'm just honored to be here. It's a privilege to wear the red, white, and blue. Doesn't matter what event it is, just like the guys here in Team Europe, they represent their countries as well, and they all know what it's like to compete for their fans and their friends and everybody back home. So.
And yourself and EJ, your fellow debutant, what will you bring to the American team?
Well, I think we bring a lot of confidence. One, as an older guy that's been around for a while, I've traveled all over the world, and then you got EJ, who's the reigning Player of the Year. In my mind, probably going to win Player of the Year again this year. Has had an amazing summer. At an all-time high, and Dom and I were at that age so long ago, right, when we both had hair. When you have that much confidence, it's easy to just kind of feed off it with your teammates and whatnot, and we'll look forward to letting him kind of, lead the way with his confidence and being Player of the Year and feed off of it, and hopefully that, runs down the ladder.
Dom, with EJ and Sean joining the side, is this the toughest American side you've faced for a while now? It's
different for us now. I think we've entered so many Weber Cups where we've been the underdogs, and the last 4 years we can't say we are anymore. Even last year, it was a little bit different with Parker coming in, and now I really actually am very fond of the USA team. I think they have a really good dynamic. I think Sean, being the captain, a little bit more mature than the other three, a little bit more experience, and then, like I said, the confidence the other three bring. They have a great dynamic in their team. I mean, Kyle's sort of their flair player. You have Marshall that needs to be sort of looked after a little bit, and he's going to really perform well. And he's a great bowler as well. He's been winning plenty of titles the last few months. And EJ, like Sean said, Player of the Year, going to be potential Player of the Year this year. I actually think they have a great team. It's a little bit different for us being, we're favourites this year. There's no doubt about it. We've won the last 4, we've won the last 2 very convincingly. So it's a little bit of a different atmosphere in our camp from that, and we have to deal with the different pressures that way. But yeah, I think the USA team is very strong this year. It's going to be a little bit different.
Something that's a little bit different this year, or not different, is the team. It's the same 4, which doesn't often happen. Is that a bit of an advantage for you?
Yeah, our continent in bowling perspective is a little bit smaller than the States. So, just the country of America, we go over there to compete. They don't really come here. So, it's we do have less personnel and players to choose from, but that's kind of a good thing. We get to have that stability. We get to have, Jesper replaced Oscar last year. He came in, he bowled so well, and we get to keep the same team. I think they said earlier in an interview we have 21 appearances, they only have 2, so that's definitely going to be a factor. I always thought that having a lot of appearances is a great thing, and it is for us for sure. But the fact that they have some new faces, they don't have the bad memories of the losses that they've had, is going to be a little bit different as well. So I think that key word we've always said in Weber Cups, and Sean's already said it, is that momentum. You know, we have to make sure we carry it on from last year and keep it going into this year.
Sean, earlier we talked about Weber Cup dream teams, and you mentioned 3 friends of yours, Parker Bone, the third, Chris Barnes and Tim Mack, who all have one thing in common, former Weber Cup captains. Have you spoken to them at all about this job?
I talked to Chris a little bit right before I got on the flight because we were talking about some other stuff. I've always talked to Timmy about this event. Didn't get a chance to talk to Parker just because of obligations and whatnot, but you know, like Dom said, when you got a group of guys behind you that you know can play, it's really just extra interviews and telling you who's going to bowl when and where. Our job is just to show up, make great shots, and fill frames. And is it an honor to be captain? Yeah. Should I be? Who knows? That's up to you guys to decide. Our job is just to bowl. So there's no added pressure. When it's there's added pressure. Not at all. You know, we're here to bowl, put on a great show. Whoever makes the best shots is going to be the champion at the end of the weekend. You know, this momentum word, it's funny, it just keeps coming up. Guys win in bunches because of the momentum and the confidence, and I think that's what we bring to this weekend, is that.
And Dom talks about that strong European team unit. How do you go about breaking that down?
Well, these guys have bowled together for over a decade. You know, it's not just 4 Weber Cups or a couple of Weber Cups. When they all started bowling for a living, they started traveling together and whatnot, and that's where the difference is between me and my 3 other guys is I've been out here for over a decade traveling and whatnot, and these guys have been doing it for a couple of years. But this next generation, Jesper and EJ and Marshall and Kyle all come with no fear, you know, no guts, no glory kind of atmosphere, where Dom and I, when we started, was how are we going to pay our mortgage? How are we going to get from one stop to the next, and who are we going to rely on for help? And these guys don't rely on anybody but themselves, and it's fun to watch from a spectator side. It's also very nerve-wracking being older like Dom and I, that wow, these guys are good. You know, a couple years ago we just thought they were a bunch of clowns, but now they're more than clowns. These guys are proven champions worldwide, and great friends and teammates and competitors when we bowl singles events. But this weekend it'll be interesting to see who starts off you know, winning the first couple points. I think the first point's always the one that kind of starts the weekend. You know, you want to get off to a good start, and we'll feel the pressure. You know, they're 4-time defending champions, and but they also have the pressure as well, being the favorites. It's fun to be underdogs, and it's fun to be the favorite. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Dom, just to end with yourself, because you've got the experience of being the captain, you start thinking about your picks now. Do you know who's going to be lining up for Team Europe tomorrow evening? You know,
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much. We have a couple of ideas, especially when it comes to maybe like the doubles, and that's probably where we have a little bit more of an advantage for the experience of we know who bowls well with each other early, and we've got the experience of understanding who bowls well in certain times in this lane. So we've got a couple of ideas already. We haven't really sat down yet and discussed it as a team, apart from one guy. We know when one guy's going to bowl, and I'm sure they can figure that one out. Yeah, it's all coming together now. Like, we're here, we've been building up to this event for so many months. It's an event we look forward to all year. I know that Sean is a very deserving captain, and I think he's going to play his part this weekend. And it's just a great event to be a part of, one that we look forward to all year, and we can't wait to get started.
Awesome. Dominic, Sean, thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers.
Thanks.